Are you aware that a tennis player ranked between position 20 to 50 on the ATP or WTA can earn in excess of $1 million in one calendar year? However, a pickleball player on the PPA Tour, ranked between positions 8 till position 30, 35, might not even be able to touch $60,000 prize money in 1 year. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Good day. Good evening. My name's Dimitri. On this channel, Chief Executive Playmaker. In tennis, there are 4 Grand Slams: Wimbledon, the US Open, Roland Garros, and the Australian Open. A few weeks ago, because I'm recording this end of September 2025, a few weeks ago, Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka won the US Open, and each of them pocketed $5 million for winning so. And therefore, in my opinion, the US Open certainly is the one with the most money. Below those 4 Grand Slams are the Masters 1000s, 9 for the men, 10 for the women. Below them are the ATP 500s, I think 16 for the men and 19 for the women, ATP 500s. I'll just make sure on that. ATP 250s below the 500s, in excess of 25 for the men, in excess of 25 for the ladies. Should we add up all those prize monies of the 250s, of the 500s, of the Masters 1000s and the Grand Slams, then throughout the calendar year, for the professional tennis player, male or female, there's in excess of 250 million, probably really more than 300 million US dollars, but let's at least keep it at $250 million that can be made in prize money by so many of the players. Obviously no one's going to make that money in 1 year in terms of prize money. But anyhow, 250 million up for grabs. Who can get their share of the $250 million in prize money? Unfortunately, in pickleball, it's not the same. A few months ago, I saw what the PPA announced, probably the start of this year or maybe the end of last year, 2024, that this year there will be about close to $30 million of prize money. And also some of that money will be for player salaries. I don't know how that's going to work, but okay, anyhow. So that's what the PPA have for this year of 2025. I looked at the big tournaments this year, the PPA Slam, PPA Cup, PPA Open, PPA Challenger, and then obviously the Minto. I looked at the prize money that the Minto paid out. Anna Leigh Waters won the Minto, I think with her mom, I think so this year, 2025, I think so. Pocketed $15,200 for winning it. Then she won 2 other cups. I know is it the PPA Open winner $10,000 and the PPA Slam winner $9,000. But let's just say she also won, I know she won 2 of those others as well. So let's just say she won the PPA Open and the PPA Slam. And $10,000, $9,000, that's $19,000 plus $15,000. That's $24,000, am I right? Yeah, anyhow. But that's not a lot of money. This year in March, a tennis player who was at that stage, he was outside of the top 20, Jakub Mensik. He won the Miami Open, the Masters 1000, and his prize money was $1 million for winning that. And this morning, as I'm making this recording, he was playing against Alex de Minaur in the Beijing Open. He lost 4-1 to Alex de Minaur. He withdrew. But before the match started, the ATP showed his career earnings and his earnings for this year. And this year already, he's made over $2 million US dollars, which reminds me of Ben Johns. Yeah, let me just quickly go to Ben Johns while I'm on the Ben Johns topic. Last year, 2024, it's reported that Ben Johns exceeded more than $2 million. Then I went and looked at the PPA Cup, Slam, Open, Challenger, and the Minto for last year of 2024. And even if Ben Johns won all 5 of those, which he didn't win all 5 in 2024, no one has ever won all 5 in 2024, has won all 5. He still wouldn't have even made $60,000 in prize money if he won all 5 of those. Which then says to me, in order for him to earn more than $2 million, making a living out of being a professional pickleball player, this man must be extremely, extremely talented in order to have done that. Anna Leigh Waters, I don't know what she's earning, but she's making a living out of pickleball as well. And not just on prize money, but sponsorship money as well. And then I had a look at this year's prize money for players who would lose in a quarterfinal of one of those 5 events I named. And I saw the average prize money for the person who would lose in the quarterfinals would be around about $800. So if an individual lost in all 5 of those this year of 2025, that individual would have made $4,000 in prize money. As I said, this is the end of September. So from January to September, $4,000. I asked my artificial intelligence because I think many people on this planet, my age and younger, make use of artificial intelligence. And I asked my artificial intelligence, a pickleball player who's made $4,000 prize money already at this point of the year, living in the USA, how's that person living? And my artificial intelligence, which is a very good friend of mine, we came to this conclusion that no, you can't make a living, you can't pay your rent. There's probably no way you can have a coach if you're only making $4,000 of prize money. Even if you're making $7,000 a year in prize money, you can't afford a coach. Your traveling expenses from the southern part of the USA all the way to the northern part of the USA, I think that's more or less where Chicago would be. Then from the east coast, New York City, then to the west coast, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara. I know Santa Barbara because of the soapy when I was a child here in South Africa. Traveling expenses, it's almost no way you're gonna last long. And then I just wondered, the player who made $4,000 to $6,000 in prize money this year in pickleball, if nothing changes next year that this person becomes a better pickleball player, the person who's funding this player, surely someone's funding him or her to be on the pickleball pro pickleball tour circuit. Will that person, somewhere that person's probably going to stop the funding and say, hey, you need to have a job now because financially you're just not making it. The top 4 male pickleball players and the top 4 female pickleball players, I get the feeling that the sponsors are chasing them and really putting quite a bit of money behind them in terms of sponsorship. But those who are not in the top 4, especially those from position 8 till 30, 35, doesn't seem like the sponsors are really interested in them. So the top 4 are having the cake and the cream, and then those from position 8 till 30, 35 are having to be satisfied with crumbs. That's the way I see it. However, in tennis, very different. Jakub Mensik, as I said this year, already made $2.2 million for this year of 2025, and he's not playing hot tennis. Matter of fact, this entire year, his tennis hasn't been hot. There have been tennis players who've played far hotter tennis than him. Ben Shelton, who's injured now, Lorenzo Musetti, they've played far hotter tennis than what Jakub Mensik has played this year. And Jakub Mensik has already gone over $2 million in prize money. And at this moment, a pickleball player is not making that kind of money, in prize money at least. I want to ask the 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old who is quite good at pickleball and is dreaming of becoming a pro pickleball player. If you are not as talented as a Ben Johns and not as talented as an Anna Lee Waters, are you going to be satisfied only having crumbs, $4,000 to $8,000 every year? Are you going to be satisfied with that? In pro sport, especially when the individual is between the ages of 21 and 34, generally 21, 34, those 13 years will be the time that that pro sport man or woman will be playing their best sport and will be earning their most money. Now, if you are as special as a Cristiano Ronaldo, you'll still be earning quite big bucks after the age of 34 as a sportsman, not with sponsorships, but as a sportsman. But, if you just average on talent, then really from age 21 till 34, that's really your window to make as much money as possible. And if you are not as special as a Ben Johns, because I want to come back to pickleball, if you are not as special as a Ben Johns, is pickleball the place where you can make a living for yourself, where you are able to even just get a home loan from a bank so that you can pay it off between ages 21 till 34. Are you even able just to do that? Accomplish that, being a professional pickleball player? Because as a professional tennis player, you certainly can. But please, let me know in the comment section what you think about the content I've put together, and I'll catch you on my next video.